Hey there, I'm Lee Ullman here with some big news from the National Young Farmers Coalition. We're partnering with Heritage Radio Network on a special season of The Farm Report. It's all about what's happening with the Farm Bill and how it impacts farmers and eaters.
I am growing diversified vegetables on land that's been in our family for 150 years.
And so with the pandemic, gentrification, property values going up, we had to sell the land and we lost it.
Join us as we uncover the untold stories behind this massive piece of legislation that shapes how we grow our food, what we eat, and so much more.
The problems we have had, those are things that come from earlier Farm Bill and USDA policy, right? Like Earl Butts, get big or get out.
You know, it's my responsibility to know not only what I'm eating, but then like how that all came to be. And realize like, wow, like this piece of legislation, all this money, like it's technically something that I support as a taxpayer.
While Congress debates the next Farm Bill, this is not just an invitation to listen. It's a call to action. Be part of the conversation. Subscribe to the Farm Report on Heritage Radio Network, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Today's program is brought to you by Wisconsin Cheese. Did you know that Wisconsin wins more national and international cheese awards than any other state or country? To learn more, visit wisconsincheese.com.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network. We're a member-supported food radio network broadcasting over 35 weekly shows live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. Join our hosts as they lead you through the world of craft brewing, behind the scenes of the restaurant industry, inside the battle over school food, and beyond. Find us at heritageradionetwork.org.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Hello, welcome to Snacky Tunes. I'm one half your host, Darren Bresnitz, sitting here with Chad and Chase Valencia, co-owners of Lasa here in Chinatown in Los Angeles. Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
Super happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Of course. So even though we're in Chinatown, this is a Filipino restaurant.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Which is sort of the beauty of Los Angeles, that even though there's tons of little areas, tons of different like ethnic pockets, you can sort of pop up a restaurant anywhere, regardless of the type of area you're in.
Absolutely.
Where'd you guys grow up?
We were born in Los Angeles, and as we were growing, our parents kept moving more east and more east. So after Los Angeles, we moved to San Gabriel Valley and kept going more east, and from San Gabriel Valley into the Inland Empire, and then we grew up in Chino Hills, California.
What was that like? What was growing up? Who cooked in the family?
My mom.
Mom and grandma.
My grandma.
Yeah?
We had like a strong matriarchal family and a lot of cooking happening, a lot of Filipino meals all day.
Every day.
We grew up with that. And then Sundays would be Popeyes, Yoshinoya, or Chinese food.
After church.
After
right.
church.
After church.
After church.
If you pray, you get the fried chicken.
Yeah, if you pray, you get a beef bowl at Yoshinoya.
If I get that miso soup.
Oh, yeah. So you're second generation Filipino-American. What's the Filipino community like in America? Big population, small population?
It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to curse?
You're allowed to curse.
Cool. Yeah, it's fucking huge. Apparently, we're the second largest minority, right?
Asian. We're the second largest Asian community.
Who's first?
Chinese.
You sure about that?
Guys.
You're a Filipino restaurant in Chinatown. That's my basic research.
No, but yes, we're...
I feel like Chad. Yeah, I feel like Chase is
Okay.
Yeah, Chinese
Okay.
is first largest,
Sure.
we're the second largest Asian
Yeah.
community.
Cool. Well, thanks for the assist on that.
And is it a tight-knit community? You know, like, do you like, when you go to other Filipino pockets, everyone's like...
I can say yes
They
and
recognize
no,
game,
depending.
recognize game?
Yeah, I mean it's different because there's a lot of us in different parts of SoCal. You have a lot of us in the South Bay, a lot of us in the Valley. You have a lot in West Covina, Inland Empire area where we're from.
Yeah.
We hung out at. But in terms of similarities, a lot of us like grew up with a lot of hip hop. You know, parents came from the Philippines, so we guys have those cultural ties and understandings, you know. So in a sense, there is that game recognized game of that.
So is it like 1 foot Filipino culture, 1 foot American culture, and like the
Absolutely.
classic second generation?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you guys obviously having a Filipino restaurant didn't reject Filipino culture outright, but was there any point growing up where you're like, I want all American, like...
Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Assimilation,
No,
yeah.
we did reject it.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm like, me opening a Filipino restaurant as an adult is like making up for my childhood of being ashamed of the food and the culture. And I mean, you know, our parents came here to assimilate. We talk about it, and it's a constant conversation piece with Filipino-American food and us trying to pursue Filipino food. But yeah, our parents came here to assimilate. They weren't proud of... Everything stayed at home. Everything.
All the Filipino food. So it wasn't like you were going to lunch and in the brown bag was like rice, hard-boiled eggs, things like that?
Yes.
Maybe like a scrambled egg sandwich
Sure.
on pandesal, but nothing like... There was no like sour soup in my broth for in my
Right,
bag
you're not
for
popping that thermos down. People are going like, what is that smell?
Right.
But so mom cooked, grandma cooked. But I mean, did you love the food at home growing up?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, like,
without a doubt.
The beauty about it was our family cooked really well, and we were so obsessed about it. Like when we're talking about, oh, you know, Tita Baby's pancit's really good. We're going to her house tonight. So, oh yeah, I love the way that she does it. The way that she cooks the noodles, the ratio between like carrots to beef. You know, we talk about it like that, and then we'll compare it to my other aunts or something.
And that's just how our family
That's just how our family was.
Yeah.
So it was innate in us in the way that we kind of saw it all and how excited we got about food, because it wasn't just my brother and I, it was also our parents and our aunts and relatives too, who are also on that same tip, and cousins just talking about the food. So it was just in our DNA.
And were you too close growing up?
Yeah.
Yes, and
But high
then
school
no,
happened,
and
you know?
then yes again.
Yeah.
And then right now,
We're talking now. You know?
Yeah, we're talking. Look, I've been in business with my brother for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Totally.
But growing up, did you guys ever have businesses together? You guys ever do the lemonade stand or anything like that?
We had a comic book shop.
Comic book and cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, we had that. I'll bring that up when we were kids.
Like
that was fun.
Marvel nerds to the core.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, he still's got some like wrapped comics.
Yeah.
Keep him that.
You're like, all right, man.
Crispy.
So if we have a slow summer, I'm pulling out these Wolverine issues.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll float the restaurant. I got you. We'll put it. So when did you guys first start getting interested in the restaurant business? And I'm assuming or maybe I'm wrong, but when you first got started, the idea to open up a Filipino restaurant probably wasn't the first thing that came to mind.
No, I think when Chad and I really thought about it, like we were about 18, 19. We were working together at this mom and pop owned restaurant
called Owen's Bistro.
Owen's Bistro in Chino. And it was awesome because, in the suburbs, all you have is,
Applebee's, Olive Garden,
right.
McDonald's,
the whole nine. And then you got this husband and wife team trying to open up something cool.
That's pretty cool.
And that was...
And making stuff from scratch?
Yes.
Right. And they still exist.
And they still exist to this day.
Wow.
And we got hired on as servers, or actually bussers. Let's be real. Let's be real.
I was a bus boy.
We were both bus boys hired on.
Who was the better one?
I mean...
Before that, though, I was a dishwasher at a bakery for 2 years.
Okay. So were you just drawn to food because that was just sort of where you could get a job, or did you have something a little bit deeper?
For me, it was definitely just the first job I got. My cousin kicked me down this job. He's like, you want to wash dishes? I was a junior, so I was 15 and a half, whatever, and I was able to leave school early even if I only worked 8 hours a week. You know what I mean? So it was tight. I was like, yeah, I'll do this. And then it was just meant extra money for, at that time, anything skateboard related, and it made sense. And then after that, Chase had already been serving at Bob's Big Boy.
Chili spaghetti.
In Diamond Bar.
Chili spaghetti.
Off the 60. And so, we found Owen's Bistro, and we started as busboys.
Now, was that a revelation? Because I grew up in the suburbs as well, and it was on the edge of Philadelphia, and so I definitely had, and my mom cooked a lot, so I had the general concept of some restaurants serve processed food, and some restaurants serve real food. But when you go to the bistro, do you go this is sort of like what we know from home, if not the flavors, but the process of making things on your own?
Yeah, I started thinking about that for sure. I think even as a busser from the get, I would spend a lot of the downtime just kind of watching the kitchen dudes,
Yeah.
And that's where the kind of initial fascination happened. I mean, apparently when I was younger, I told my mom I wanted to be a cooker at Denny's.
Aim high. Moved over to Miami, right? But you wound up going to kitchens, right? I mean, you put in a decade in professional kitchens. Not that, obviously this is a professional kitchen as well, but what made that shift? What from the bistro brought you out into the world? Because you traveled around and you cooked.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was never very good at school.
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a intuition, instinct kind of based person, and that lends itself really well to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I was pretty good at it for being so young, and I was just like, I think this is something that I could do.
And you cooked at some big kitchens too, right?
Yeah, big neighborhood restaurants that were, Canale, I feel like, is where I really kind of got a huge sense of what a chef-driven, market-driven restaurant was. The team that I got to cook with at that time, damn near everyone that I worked with on the line is very ambitious and still killing it.
Yeah.
I worked at Contigo in San Francisco, a Spanish joint in Noe Valley, another neighborhood restaurant that,
that was very influential.
Very, very influential.
And Chase, you went from bussing at Owens to managing, right?
Yeah.
What drew you to management? Because that's not a normal story that we get to tell here about people who are front of the house. What started you down that path?
Well, honestly, working at Owens Bistro and feeling like I was gonna get into a fascination of the process. When you're seeing this husband and wife literally doing everything from scratch, from making decisions on the wine to what kind of napkins are we gonna get, and or what are we gonna do on this menu, like direct influence on what is gonna happen for the opening of a restaurant for that day to make people happy and serve. That was a trip. Where we grew up seeing suburbs where like they're just cutting open a bag, putting it in a pot, warming it up, $25.99.
Yeah.
And it's fucking bomb, whatever, like
Applebee's,
Cheesecake Factory, you know what I mean? So seeing that kind of blew me away in the sense of just how hands-on this can really be. And so from that experience and seeing how, honestly, Denise was the owner and Jim, how they engaged with their guests and how much they cared for anyone that walked into those doors, it really sunk into me, and it still sinks into me this day. So from that, I wanted to kind of create that on a larger scale and see how I can do that the rest of my life.
And you wound up going from there to work for Wolfgang Puck, right?
Yeah, Wolfgang Puck Catering. Actually, when I started there, I started at the front desk. Like,
get in any way.
Yeah, just giving away paychecks for the staff, and then just really pushing the operations team to let me like take on some tasks here and there, help them out, just really hustling for it. And then from there, they kind of let me in a little bit, and I was there for 4.5 years.
Wow.
And so from there, I moved to management from LA Live, PD Pacific Design Center, Sony.
Best thing you learned there? What was like the
Beats.
one tip that you still learned from there that you still apply today for management?
I think management from there is you can make shit happen, period. No matter the situation, you're going to figure it out, and trusting the team and trusting yourself. I think that was really huge because it's such a big, Wolfgang Puck Catering is so huge, and we're doing events for like thousands of people, and everyone's such a big part of it. And you got to trust everyone, trust the system, trust yourself, and we're going to figure the solution out. And it really stuck on to me. Yeah.
And then, so you guys were, you were in San Francisco, Chad, and Chase, you were at Wolfgang Puck, but then you both wound up at Squirrel.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you guys wind up there together?
Through Chad.
So when I left...
And what year is this?
2012.
Is that for real? 11 or 12?
11 or 12.
Okay, so when I left Canalay to move up north, it's getting a little stale here. Like, there was no Bestia, there was no night market, there was no... The flux of our generation chefs opening new spots hadn't happened.
It was coming.
It was coming.
That was like
real fucking
it was like
soon.
right on the edge.
Right. Was coming through.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I mean,
so
there was
6 months into living up there, I had already made the decision that I was only going to be there for another 6 months. And Rhea, who I worked with at Canalay, was the opening chef at Squirrel. And so she was like, hey, if you move back down, I need some fucking help. So that's how I got that job. And then it was so small back then that Jess, Kozlo, and Rhea were like, if you know anyone that wants to run, let's put them on. So I hollered at my wife and Chase to run.
Nice.
There were no servers there, but just run food because it just started turning into high volume. And so that's how we both ended up there. And while we were there, although the discussion had started, that's when we really made the decision to start, like, let's just do some backyard dinners and see how it goes.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to get to those dinners, and then taking those dinners and turning it into the restaurant that we were sitting in now. We have a song from the archives here on Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.org.
I like it better without any relation. Dead, I messed up. I will catch in a daydream without closing my eyes. Ooh, yeah. New sound temptation, can't look away. You're my fixation, I don't need a day. Taking it my way, alright, yeah. I better run. I know you've got a secret for love you. I just wanna hold you. I know you just wanna play like a piranha, telling lies to mama. All those people saw you twirling your hair. I'm gonna catch you and you don't care. I know you've got a secret for me. I better run. I better run. I know you've got a secret for me. I better run. I better run. You got me flying, sliding on the freeway. You got me jumping, judging by the ricochet. You got me going, I don't know what to say. I'm feeling something coming from that ricochet. You got me flying, sliding on the freeway. You got me jumping, judging by the ricochet. You got me going, I don't know what to say. I'm feeling something coming from that ricochet. And when you see me on the floor, I'm already writhing, because your touch is so reviving. I can't express what shape or size. Love is a compromise. I work with the grand design, yeah. And if you should leave me, I already know. We came apart because the flow was at the door. So I'll just say my piece, so you receive it all. No matter large or small, it's bouncing off the wall. You got me flying, sliding on the freeway. You got me jumping, chasing by the ricochet. You got me going, I don't know what to say. I'm feeling something coming from that ricochet. You got me flying, sliding on the freeway. You got me jumping, chasing by the ricochet. You got me going, I don't know what to say. I'm feeling something coming from that ricochet.
Hello and welcome back to Snacky Tunes. We are here at Lasa with co-owner and chef Chad and co-owner and GM Chase. So you guys are at Squirrel, and then you start talking about doing some pop-ups. What sort of made you want to start doing these pop-ups? Did you sort of see that there was a wave of your generation doing restaurants, or were you just saying, we can do this?
Yeah, that. I think, honestly, we were, even before that, we kind of thought that we were going to pursue food. But if we were going to do Filipino, we weren't going to get investors like right off the jump. It was more, it's got to be organic. In a sense where we have to build.
Let's
up,
grow.
Let's grow.
Let's figure it out.
Let's plant the seed.
Let's just try. Exactly.
Yeah,
let's plant the seed.
You know, let's be honest with ourselves, you know?
I mean, in 2012, 2013, what was the perception of Americans of Filipino food, or was there even one?
There was...
Hell no. When we started doing pop-ups, man, there was nothing. Nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. We were definitely, like...
I think the only thing going on was in New York.
Maharlika.
You know?
Right.
I mean, Dale Holiday a little bit.
Right. But not... I don't know. Not, like, Maharlika is a lot more straightforward. Not... I don't know. We were just trying to figure out how we were going to do it. Like, all right, we grew up in these California-style kitchens where, you know, market produce is a big deal, and you're kind of dumb to be a professional chef and not shop at the farmer's market or not know what seasonality is. And, yeah, and then kind of bridge that in our upbringing of Filipino food and culture, you know what I mean? So it's kind of just us figuring that out. And I think to this day we're still figuring it out, but I think more and more we're kind of strengthening that vision and figuring it out and just continuing the dialogue, you know what I mean?
And so what were those reactions to those early dinners like? Were people into it? I mean, from the get-go, you're like, we're going to do Filipino food. Were people scratching their heads, or were they just down to support you because you'd been around for so long?
It was like starting from scratch, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean...
We fed our family and friends first, like
right.
literally.
Honestly, the first pop-up was only friends and family, like test drive, you know? It was a real one, like... They're all critical as fuck, but you know, like our parents, like, are you sure
it's like, oh, you were judging us all these years.
Yeah, my dad
up.
was like, you want to do Filipino food?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a Filipino dude cooking Italian food the rest of my life? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, you know? It just, something innate in us for sure was pushing us to be like, well, if we're going to pursue being in the restaurant industry, then shit, man, we definitely have to try pursuing Filipino food. And whatever that means, it's going to be our way. And it took us a minute to be confident in whatever our way was going to be.
And
you know, that's what really this journey has been about. I feel
And
like.
what is that way compared to traditional Filipino food? Since there aren't a lot, I mean, because really probably have to go back to the Philippines to compare it to other restaurants, other than the handful that are in America. Like, so how was your approach different to serving people food in a professional setting compared to what it's like back home or back home, the home?
Well, I mean, let's be real. Like 80% of Filipino food is one pot cooking.
Sure.
So it's a stew or a braise. It's a poor country, so you have, not bad cuts of meat, but cuts of meat that need to be slow cooked to have any sort of tenderness or flavor.
Yeah.
So we take that approach. We use a lot of cuts that need to be slow cooked or braised, and the vegetables are always like mushy. They're not cooked to, say, Western standards of al dente or properly cooked vegetables. But, growing up here, we definitely give a fuck about properly cooking vegetables.
Sure.
So it's a mixture of those things. So a lot of those stews and braises are definitely like, I hate the word, but deconstructed. And more so for us, the way we look at it is like, when you're eating something and it's all one pot, for the most part, everything's damn near the same texture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we take that away and we kind of, this is what a turnip should be like. This is what this meat should be like. This is what the sauce should be like. And it's really not that cerebral. And then we try to make it prettier, because usually it's just brown food that's scooped over rice. And we love that shit too, but, we're trying to really progress the cuisine and give it some light here.
We're trying to broaden the idea of what Filipino food can be, per se. We've always grown up it being that pot, turo, your mom's cooking, and we're trying to and also we're Filipino-American. We're a second generation. We're born here, and our influences are a little different, and I think it shows with the way that we're approaching the food, and and a reflection of our upbringing being Filipino-Americans, I'd say.
Do you run into issues with anyone saying that it's inauthentic because of how much you filtered it? Even though when the authentic version may not be as good?
I think we talk about this a lot. There's a difference between authentic and traditional.
Sure.
I think it gets...
Lasa's food is authentic to us
right.
and our experiences as Filipino-Americans, but it is not traditional. That's why we're so keen on calling it Filipino-inspired.
Gotcha.
Because it is.
Just get in front of that argument.
Yeah, it's like right. So
this is
just like, guys, we're trying here.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're doing the pop-ups. When did you start to notice a shift, and how long were you doing it for?
A year and a half in, I think, when we started feeding strangers.
Right.
We went from backyard dinners to
Highland Cafe. Off of York and Highland Park.
2 times a month.
Friend of a friend owned it, so twice a month. I lived down the street at the time, while we were working at Squirrel, and we did twice a month we did 6 months, 8 months, so we did about 8 months worth of dinners there. Those were prefix, still us figuring it out, but starting to get a little bit more adventurous and confident. Because we started feeding strangers, it was like, all right, this word of mouth thing's kind of working.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. It was like that. There was this one night where I asked Chum, hey, do you know anybody in here? He's like, nah, man. I'm like, shit. All right. Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
right.
Sorry, Mom. No seats left. Yeah. I can get you in for the late seating. And then when did you, pop-ups are one thing. I assume that you guys still had side, main jobs, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when do you go we're all in? We're going to start doing this full time?
Well, I think after Highland Cafe, we were going we were feeding maybe 20, 30 people a night.
Right.
Yeah.
And
then we took a break.
Oh, yeah.
Took a break to work on a business plan, because we were stuck on the old school idea of trying to find $500,000 worth of investors to open a restaurant in LA. So anyways, while we're doing that...
How'd that go?
Didn't happen. Anyways, so yeah, I started working at Elysian. And so the owner there, David Thorne, used to work at Canalay. We have a lot of mutual friends. And when I came back, even while I was at Squirrel, he was like, if you ever need work outside of Squirrel, holler at me, you know. And so whatever, I took a gig with him, and it made sense that eventually Lasa would be able to do dinners out of Elysian because it's kind of this defunct restaurant space that gets rented out for different things.
Yeah.
And that's when it started getting crazy.
Because that we were doing like, when we start at Elysian, we were feeding 120 people a night. So
we were the first 3 we fed 90 people.
So 90. It took us a week to sell it.
Which is amazing.
Right.
Week and a half.
And then the last 5 months after that, we were booking them solid 120 people.
In less
like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah,
So it's like that whole LA craze, like what is this shit?
Yeah, the lines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
and also most people probably had never really had Filipino food until they sat down with you.
Right. And it's that sense, I think, with a lot of the diners it was awesome because people were excited to see what we're trying to do with the food. You know, we were always growing up in it with one way, and these guys are trying to do something else, or it doesn't look familiar, but it tastes familiar.
Totally.
You know, and so that was exciting, kind of seeing that, and from there it was just like, shit, all right, let's go.
So
then
that's when we started getting any kind of press,
right?
Any kind of interest.
And Alvin.
Let's talk about Alvin.
Yeah.
So Alvin, owner of Egg Slut, Alvin Kellen, had this space, Unit 120, which was an incubator, a rotating incubator, which is amazing.
Right.
Like just the concept that any chef would be like, I'm going to have a space which is essentially like a loss leader, like it's not really always making profit, but so I can help, share with those spots, is unique.
Right. So he's definitely the one that was like, you guys are trying to find $500,000 worth of investors. How much are you trying to own of your company? He was hardcore devil's advocate of, you guys have been working really hard at your thing, and do you want it to be your thing, or do you want to be a fucking horse that's getting gambled on? You know what I mean? And so, to be honest, we were considering the Ramen Champ space, although tiny, and he was like, come downstairs. So we're here at the plaza, and we go in here, which was Faisiana, but not Faisiana at all.
Brown and yellow walls.
Right. Yeah. And he was like, I'm going to turn this into Unit 120. What days do you guys want? And I was like, I want to quit my day job. Give me the weekends. If there's going to be any sort of progress and growth for Lasa and us pushing it, I wanted to quit my day job. And, it sounded scary, but we went for it.
And then what was it like? What were those early days like of getting it open and getting the word out? Did you see, now that it wasn't just like a one-off thing, did you see like a rise and then a dip as far as customers come?
Yeah, but I think because it was only 3 nights a week, it allowed us to kind of be busy.
Yeah, we were busy. We were busy.
Yeah, because, it's not like spread out in 6 days, fill this restaurant up. It was like 3 nights out of the week. We're doing a prefix menu, 3 courses. We're gonna cap it at like 50, 60 a night or something like that. Just because we had like a skeleton crew, so we do what we can, kind of a thing.
And then, based on the popularity, how did the decision? I mean, the fact that you guys didn't get bounced out of here, the fact that Alvin was like, all right, you guys can have it. Like, what was that discussion like? What was that moment like?
That was a trip. I mean,
it was a trip. First of all, we were looking at a different space in here. In the plaza.
Oh, so you were going to leave the space and go to another space in the plaza?
No, right.
Yeah, we were...
Well, we didn't even... I mean, we just thought he was going to continue. It was almost like, I wonder who his next resident's going to be.
Yeah, right. It was almost a year up.
Right, let's do our own thing now. Let's try. Can we do it? Blah, blah, blah. Told him what we were trying to do, showed him our renderings, and he was like, how about you guys just take over 120, And as a homie, he was like...
And by that time, we already asked for the 4th night.
Right.
Right.
So and he was,
and he was real. He was like, as a homie, and for you guys to make a business decision, you'd be idiots to say no to this. But I also understand
if you want to leave.
If you want to leave and you have this dream space idea mapped out in there, but maybe you could work that out in here.
Yeah.
And this was bigger than that.
And already home in so many ways.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the best locale in the plaza.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously,
You can see
lots
the
of people waiting for Helen Ray's.
Yeah. And so now that you've been open, you shut down for a little bit and been open, what's it been like? I mean, what's it been like, a year in, as brothers, as partners, as a restaurant? Like, how has it been for that whole journey to be here now?
As brothers, a lot of growth.
Yeah.
As business partners, a lot of growth on so many levels. When we started, we were fucking at each other's throats, like, what the fuck are we doing? Or like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a bad idea. And then it's like reality TV type shit.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like communication.
Yeah.
Trust each other a lot more.
And
talk about it.
Yeah.
Know when to talk about it.
Yeah.
Instead of during service,
Yeah.
like after service. Home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, I know I'm 30 tickets deep, but I need you right now to have my brother and I always like to call them house meetings, but they could happen anywhere, especially not in the house, like on the street in front of a lot of friends.
Right.
Yeah.
But and being on number 18 on Gold's 101 list, I mean, that has to be, even though awards and lists, you can get caught up in that stuff, but that has to be an amazing validation of your food, the culture, the family, like everything, I mean, how many Filipino restaurants are on the list?
Yeah. I mean, for me, as a
Three.
as a brother and as a partner, I was proud, Like I've been a fan of Chad, what he does and how he cooks, and just to see that validation for what he does and what the kitchen team does, what we do, it was incredible. And I honestly didn't think I didn't think.
So last year we were on. All right, let's talk about this list real quick. Last year we were on the list as Far East Plaza. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously Lasa was just part of Unit 120.
Right. It was the whole thing.
Right.
I remember. Yeah.
And so, getting asked to do food at the launch party, I noticed Helen Ray's was on the list. None of us had any sort of we were unsure if we were on the list, or a huge part of me was like, oh, we're probably Far East Plaza again, but way higher.
Yeah.
Because this plaza's fucking killing it.
Yeah.
And during the fucking event, you were there, right?
I was there.
We were busy.
Oh, no, you were super busy.
Right. So there was no time to leave and say hi to everybody. And it was almost the end of it. Chef Ryan from Irina came up with a freaking pamphlet and was like, fuck you guys, and he threw it down. It was number 18. I'm like, do the numbers matter? And everyone was like, shut the fuck up, the numbers matter. And it was just wild, It was also before that, during it, a lot of chefs that I respect the living shit out of were coming up to us and congratulating us. And I was just yeah, it's an honor to be here. I didn't know.
Yeah. Right.
And maybe it was for that and the fact that but I was just
thank you.
Yo, yeah,
I'm happy to be cooking here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
This is one event that I really wanted to be a part of, And so it's been pretty crazy. It's so we had a slow summer, and honestly, throughout the summer we were kind of starting to get fucking scared. Is this we'd talk about hey, just a reminder, if this doesn't work out, doesn't mean we can't get awesome jobs elsewhere. We'd even talk like that because just kind of make it lighthearted. But then also the other side of that was all right, what the fuck can we do to get people in here?
Yeah.
Because we're confident in what we do.
It's still Filipino food.
It's still Filipino
and
food.
It's still our reality is. Choosing to pursue Filipino food is a huge risk. And what I mean by that is your average Angelino family or couple is going to be like, hey, baby, what do we have for dinner tonight? Filipino food is not a part of that fucking conversation. Maybe 5 years from now, if we're lucky.
Yeah.
But I mean, if within a year or two, if Lasa could be a part of that conversation, fuck yeah, And that's what I'm hoping for. So if the closer goal is that Lasa is part of the conversation, and the bigger goal is that Filipino food is part of the conversation, then, I think we're doing the right thing.
Awesome. Well, I think you're doing a great thing. Congratulations. Where
Thank
can people
you.
find you? Online? You guys are up on the gram.
Yeah, Lasa's on the gram.
Yeah, on the gram, Lasa_LA.
Yeah.
Online,
www.
www.lasa-la.com.
Come through.
Yeah, come through, have dinner, have lunch,
You're up on
hang out.
Resi too, right?
Yeah, we're up on Resi for reservations.
Awesome. It's great, which you'll definitely need on the weekends here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. We have another song from the archives and then a live performance here on Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.org.
Today's program was brought to you by Wisconsin Cheese. What do you think of when you hear Wisconsin cheese? For me, I think cheese curds. Delicious, fresh and squeaky cheese curds. Or deep fried cheese curds. Cheese curds literally anyway, anytime, any place. I think about Andy Hatch and Upland's Cheese, the farmstead cheese company behind Pleasant Ridge Reserve. I think of delicious stinky Limburger and its long storied history. I think of Dunbarton Blue, made by master cheesemaker Chris Raleigh. I think of Roth's Grand Cru Surchoix, which was named 2016's World Championship cheese, and Sartori's Black Pepper Bella Vitano, the 2017 U.S. Championship cheese. Wisconsin produces the world's best cheese, with lush grasslands and a glacial water supply that produce the very best milk fourth-generation cheesemakers combine old-world tradition with new ideas and the highest standards to make innovative cheeses that win more awards than any other state or country.
The hordes, the freaks, the beauties and the creeps, creatures of the night.
Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. We have the Rizzos live in studio. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Would you like to go around the room and introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Megan.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Bettina.
Leaning on the drums.
Leaning on the drums to get closer to the microphone.
As drummers do.
The Rizzos are one of the hardest working bands in New York City.
Verified.
What sets you apart from the other 19 or so hardest working bands?
Ooh.
We're the prettiest.
I mean,
I don't know if that's. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure.
We're probably
it's true.
the most iced band.
We're the most iced band.
Yeah.
We're sponsored by Smirnoff
We're the
Ice.
only King Pizza band on the
that
hardest
Hard
working
Rockers
list this year.
But there's a lot of hardworking King Pizza bands.
That's
there
true.
are a lot of hardworking.
do you feel like that poll is representative? It's a real indication? Or do you think...
I was thinking about this yesterday, and because I felt like that might come up talking about this. And here is my stance, and you guys feel free to jump in.
Rev up for it.
I really was like preparing in the shower. So I think that since there are so many bands and so many shows, that their criteria makes a ton of sense for their publication. Like, and they have at the top of the list every year, they're like, these are the shows that we listed. We can only get to so many. So this is like our hardest working. And I think that's 100% valid and really fantastic. Mm-hmm. But I think there are so many smaller bands that are busting their asses, butts, all the time.
It's a podcast. You can say asses.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ass.
Sweet.
Well, they're busting it. That don't play the right, like the bigger venues. They don't get the write-ups on certain blogs, but they're playing just as many shows, if not more. So I think there are different like levels of hardest working depending on how you want to define it.
So there's a shadow hardest working. A secret hardest working, if you will.
I would say so.
Probably and like a lot of people like also like that list just does not include like DIY venues and things that like they're not. There could be someone playing like 365 shows a year.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know about it.
We played a good number of basement shows and like house shows last year, which like those aren't going to get on there because no one wants their address on the internet.
And also, if we're honest, we're not really hardworking. We don't
That
really
is
work
untrue.
hard.
Speak for yourself,
Choose
Justin,
to disagree.
Mr. Late to everything.
I was kind of on time today.
I was unclear that house shows and DIY venues did not show up on that. I feel like that's a huge part of the scene that they're tracking.
I'm assuming they don't.
They didn't, no.
Not for the most part.
Yeah.
Because it's only it's got to be like through. I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, like I think their criteria is super spot on, and I think there's a good and valid reason why these shows don't, like the basement shows, don't end up listed because you don't really need that being blasted out that big because the show will fit 30 people and you're happy. But it definitely is missing a section of the like DIY scene for sure.
Well, I also think a lot of bands get their footing in those venues too. I mean, even to get to somewhere like Alphaville or something along those lines, you have to play a number of house shows to even know what it is to get on stage.
Exactly.
Totally.
I want to read something you sent to me about you. The Rizzos.
Ooh.
Their currency is laughter. Main export is good times. Their GDP is roughly that of a deserted island. Please tell me about your main export of good times.
Justin?
Well, you see, we don't import a lot except for beer, but because we import so much beer, we're just naturally always producing good times, at least for ourselves. I don't know how well known we are in the international community yet for our export of good times, but we like to think that, I mean, it's really the only thing we got. We're not producing anything else.
To speak to our international Snacky Tunes community, what type of good times would you be bringing to them across the sea?
Well, hopefully they'll get a little bit of awkward dancing.
I was about to shout out our game.
What's our game?
What's
our
your
game is on the count of 3, do the ugliest dance you can think of.
Oh, yeah. And make the worst face possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good time.
Can we get a worst face? Count the 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I did the dance move too.
Oh, yeah.
It was so weird. I don't know what that was. Zombie.
For the listeners at home, how ugly do you think that was?
I'm going to say Megan won.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Good job, Megan.
You threw in the wiggle. For those who can't see, you threw in a wiggle. Can we get a song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to play for us first?
Do you want to do Bless This Mess?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Cool. This is a newish one.
Here we go.
Yep.
You mentioned King Pizza Records earlier. King Pizza Records is a gang.
It is a gang.
You're not
Just
wrong.
like ICP.
Just like ICP.
We're officially recognized by the FBI.
For the
Let's not tip them off, Justin.
For the uninitiated, what is King Pizza Records and who makes up the gang?
Bettina, you take this one.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you fixing something?
Well, I'm trying to find the part of my hi-hats I destroyed, but I'll do it in a second.
I'll take it. So King Pizza Records was started by our friend Greg Hansen. He plays drums in the Mad Doctors, among some other bands. He started it kind of like, he wanted to be able to, as a true fan of music in Brooklyn and elsewhere, he was very concerned that all these awesome bands that he knew weren't really getting distribution or any sort of like label support. And so he wanted to put his own resources to helping other people release their music digitally on tapes and on vinyl as well. And he also wanted to really like build and foster a community where, in addition for him like putting out music, he also wanted to create like a community that would like self-sustain and support itself and kind of be like an artist coalition of like, you know, if you're on the label, go see these awesome bands, support them, hype their stuff, listen to their stuff, spread it around, and really, you know, do it together sort of mentality.
And everyone's like very like-minded and like just really loves each other's music. And like I think we've all made like our best friends out of this group of people, just like who love being at shows, who love making music, who love listening to music. And yeah, the community is a really huge part of it.
Yeah, it's been great. So it started, I want to say like 2013 with 4 bands maybe, and now we have a roster of like 25 to 30 at any time. Mostly in Brooklyn, also in like Philly, and I think
Boston.
Omax are from Ohio, something like that.
Ohio.
So yeah, it's been really awesome. It's a ton of fun. Like everyone said, it's like good people hanging out, making music, and we try to be as inclusive and opening to people who like just want to come to shows as possible, because there's definitely that fear of like, what if I don't know anybody?
Yeah, so many people use the word community and then kind of fall short of it. What makes this community so unique?
I like every King Pizza show, like even if you don't know anyone, like you walk into the room and I think you're gonna leave knowing people. Everyone just like wants to talk, wants to get to know everyone. Like if you walked in by yourself, someone would probably walk up to you and be like, hey, what's up? Like, what's going on? What brought you here?
Yeah, like if I can like share like a true experience of someone else. I was talking to Romy from Power Snap, shout out. She was talking about like she's a relative. I think she's only been in Brooklyn for about like a year now. And she said she like came to a show, and then like because like I invited her or something, and then like she immediately got involved with like Seth and got involved with like working with people and like met a bunch of friends, and yeah, it's just like cool. Like we've made so many friends personally with like artists, photographers, musicians, and people just come, and I don't know. I think it's just like a very welcoming group of people that just want to have friends and have fun and support each other and, you know, help people's dreams come true.
Everyone's like super into side projects too. Like we have one good friend, Rachel Adler, who's a visual artist, and like she's like, I'm gonna put together an exhibit at this show. So then like that's a big show. You'll have like an opening, and then her art's hanging up for like a couple months.
Yeah, she's doing I think a monthly thing at Footlight now, where she's just gonna be, you know, photos. She's like curating other people's art shows, and like with like music as well. It's really awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned Footlight, but what are some of the other venues that the shows take place at?
The Gutter's a big one.
Yeah, we've taken a hard hold of the Gutter recently, mostly because Greg books there, and it's because it's wonderful and always
we
sounds
love it
good.
so much. And there's bowling.
And there's bowling.
Where do they set up the bands?
There's a back room if you walk through the bathrooms.
Oh, that's right. I forget about that.
Pass the crapper and you'll find the music.
You'll find the crapper. No, I'm just kidding.
I forgot. I saw White Lung there.
Oh, cool.
Forever ago. Yeah. That's right.
Awesome.
I always wanted them to set up on half of the lanes.
Dude,
That's
that would be
so
amazing.
cool.
That is my dream.
That's the dream, right?
The opening scene of Josie and the Pussycats, they're playing on the bowling
They used to have the
lanes.
Asbury lanes in Asbury Park. I think that place has been closed for a while at this point.
I was talking to someone yesterday. They're reopening soon.
Yes.
Woo. Goals. We want to play there.
But I do know the Gutter had, they did cover bands on Halloween. They had some in the front room, which
cool.
really shakes it up.
That's awesome.
Weird.
It's really interesting for this because it sounds like how when I went to basement shows growing up, it's the same thing where like you didn't know anybody, you would meet people. It's really awesome to hear in 2017, 2018 where people feel so isolated.
Yeah.
That there's a community like this that still exists, and you can be a weirdo and go to a show and make friends, which is really what I always felt music and art did for people.
I agree. And I think Greg has really, I interrupt you, I apologize. But he's collected all the weirdos. Like, he's collected a lot of weirdos that he knows.
There's
and
more.
been like,
There's more out there.
not there. That's true. Please, if you
Not all of them.
want to come see
There's
Garage
room.
Rock, come to King Pizza,
Most
be weird with us.
King
But
Pizza. Most of the weirdos.
I would call that an unofficial subtitle.
The cheesiest
byline,
weirdos.
whatever you want to call it.
Can we hear another song?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I hope you guys don't mind. My hi-hat is now a crash cymbal.
Sweet. Let's
Getting
do Breslin because that's what I'm tuned for.
Perfect.
chair's really bouncy. I like it.
Should always play on bouncy chair.
February 9th.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
February 9th.
You know
Oh,
where
yeah.
this is going.
I'm excited to talk about it.
Let's talk about it. 4th annual Valentine's Day party.
Valentine's Day prom.
Prom.
In fact. Yes.
Well, prom is a party.
That is true.
It's
Okay,
gonna
you're
be a
right.
party.
You're totally correct.
Not all parties are proms, but all proms are parties.
Correct, yes.
Probably.
And now I'm feeling sad that not all our parties are prom.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, fine. 4th annual.
4th annual.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
All right.
Give us an origin story.
All right, so they're tuning, so I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about my favorite thing of the year, which is prom. We have a song called Prom Song, kind of a prommy vibe. So 4 years ago, we were like, let's throw a Valentine's Day prom at Don Pedro, which is where we were playing a lot of shows and spending a lot of
R.I.P.
times. It was.
Oh.
We played there, like, I swear, once a week for 2 years. Something like that. That was a casual exaggeration.
Did that get counted? Did Don Pedro get counted?
Some shows.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, depending on the show.
We were a little baby band, so
Yeah, we played. Anytime someone was like, "We need a band," Rizzos will say yes. We're like, "You're right." So we had the first prom there. Just kind of like, we'll throw a show. We'll see how it goes. photo booth, prom king and queen, and
Dress
it was dress up formal, and it was a blast. Like it was so much fun.
Was it proper formal or was it like themed formal?
Theme formal, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, you could show up casual. We're not like strict about it.
Yeah, there are no rules.
Yeah, there's no rules.
Yeah.
Parents, no rules.
Yeah.
And no chaperones. We did it with our greatest homies, sirs and madams. They were our prom dates for our first year, our second year, and our third year. And they're not joining us this year because they recently split up.
They
It makes us very
retired.
sad. They retired.
Of us. Sick of us.
So yeah, we did the first one at Don Pedro. Where was the
The
second
last
one?
two were at
The last
the
two
gutter.
were both at the gutter.
Okay, and this one is going to be at the gutter as well because we love the gutter.
We do. And it has that disco ball and the fun twinkle lights. It just feels very prom-tastic.
Is there prom dancing and bowling and everything?
We have yet to incorporate the bowling officially, but I do think we can consider that after prom.
Oh,
like
of course.
post-prom party.
That's always on the docket.
You take your limo.
Yeah.
And is it? Tell us about the lineup. It's a mix of live music and DJs.
So we're still sorting out the details for a DJ, but I believe it's a member of World's Greatest Detective will be DJing.
He's going to be in between sets.
Yeah. And then, sorry guys, I'm talking so much. So if you want to jump in, please feel free.
We have Ghost Funk Orchestras joining us, which I'm super stoked about. The Royal They and Plaid Dracula.
Dope
And then
in the
us.
show.
And
Well,
if
reverse order.
And if you've never been, what can you expect?
Expect the unexpected. No, it's. I mean, there's going to be a lot of great music, if I do say so myself. We did a really good job picking awesome bands to play.
I agree.
There's going to be, we haven't hammered out all the details, but there's going to be definitely some fancy clothing and some dancing. There's going to be a prom king and queen, which we will vote on throughout the night by ballot.
Yes.
There might be some campaigning.
There does tend to be.
Has the campaigning unofficially started, or does it start the night of?
I bet it's going to start as soon as people hear this podcast. It's going to.
It should start the night of for fairness.
Yeah.
But
technically, there shouldn't be any campaigning near the polling place, but
it's within 20
But
feet.
It's a pretty small space, so we're going to have to.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a good fight.
But we also have a host, which is Coach Dave. He's everyone's favorite gym teacher.
And chaperone.
And he's the only chaperone. So he's always running around throughout the night, and he does intros for the bands and maybe some activities.
Yeah. We had a scooter race last year, which my team won. We won the relay.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
It's very fun.
I'm proud of you.
Have there been any romance stories from past proms?
None that we can tell.
We can't say
here.
Okay.
But yes, there definitely have.
Okay, over beers and pizza afterwards.
Yes,
that's fair.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure we talk about what's coming up the rest of the year. You're going on a mini tour.
Yeah, we're working on it. Probably about 4 or 5 days at the end of April. We're going to do that. And then we're hoping to do a little bit longer of one, but we're still hammering out those details also.
And you have a release coming out too.
Yes. We are releasing a split 7-inch with our pals Top Notches from New Pulse. They're amazing. We are happy to welcome them onto the label. And then once we do that, we're probably going to do like a summer tour or something with them. We haven't
Amazing.
figured it out.
And this all might be timed with Pizza Fest 5.
That's the goal. The goal is to have the 7-inch at Pizza Fest 5, which is going to be in May. That depends on, pressing vinyl casual. I'm very excited we're going to be on vinyl. But Pizza Fest 5 should be fantastic, and hopefully our release is then.
Yeah. The biggest pizza part of the year. That's peak King Pizza Records right there.
Yeah, 3 days, lots of bands, lots of actual pizza.
Yeah, who are are there actual vendors? Is it bring your own slice? What's the deal?
We usually have vendors and we sell pizza. So we will provide the pizza. Last year we worked with Sizzle Pie.
Delicious.
We've worked with Vinny's in the past, so that's all still being hammered out. But it will be tasty.
Cool.
And possibly vegan. I love Sizzle Pie.
It can possibly be vegan for you.
So excited.
Justin is now vegan, so.
Vegan pizza
Deal
has
with that.
come a long way.
Yeah.
I agree.
The first slice I had was maybe 14 years ago in Eugene, Oregon, and it was garbage. it actually undid the statement that any pizza is good pizza, as this is terrible.
no.
But it's really come a long way.
Did they do the thing where they tried to put fake cheese on it
Yeah,
instead of just...
that was the problem.
That's
I know that was the
sometimes-
problem.
You can do it.
Just do some
You can
light
do it.
Sometimes
sauce and
now.
cheese.
It's better now, but this was like the cashew cheese
Yeah.
type thing. You're like, just give me a tomato pie.
Yeah,
Give me
yeah.
a gluten-free tomato pie. We're cool.
Yeah, see, fake cheese has come a long way, but I can imagine back then it was like just really unfortunate.
Pioneers. Last question.
Oh, Oregon Trail joke.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Died of dysentery and bad pizza.
If the Rizzos were any type of food or dish, what would you be?
We did discuss this a little bit, and we think that we might be our classic tour sandwich.
Yeah, we're a sandwich.
We were a sandwich. Bettina loves sandwiches.
I feel very strongly about them. It's true.
And we feel so strongly we have an ongoing roundtable discussion with our pals Heavy Flow from New Jersey about what is a sandwich and the nonsense that can be called a sandwich nowadays.
Yes.
Hot dog, not a sandwich.
I'm very angry about it.
Is it any particular type of sandwich?
Hot dogs are not sandwiches.
No, just a
No,
tour
I
sandwich.
I said I was angry.
The Rizzo sandwich.
When we were on the road, we stopped at Target and we got a cooler and we just like got a bunch of ingredients to make sandwiches. So it's like a Martin's potato roll.
Wow, so good.
Some veganese for the vegans. Avocado, tomato, and cheese if you can eat cheese.
Did we put spinach on the last?
We did put spinach on it.
Yeah.
Really good.
And my
I
thought
think
process.
next time
go
we
ahead.
should add some mustard, maybe.
Oh, getting fancy. My thought process is like it's quick, easy, satisfying, and you can have it in the back of a car.
You
The
can make
Rizzos.
it in the back of a car.
Hey.
Sorry.
Where can people find you, find your music, find your tour dates, learn about King Pizza Records?
They can find our music at therizzos.bandcamp.com. We're also on Spotify and Apple Music and all that jazz.
We got a Facebook page that's where basically all of our updates go, events, tour announcements. We have like a Twitter and an Instagram, but we're not so good at it.
Yeah, we're not the best.
We only use Twitter when we're on tour.
Yeah.
We're like
And
trying to
we're making
embarrass
fun of
Betty
each
on the
other.
internet.
It's real. And King Pizza's best on Facebook, for sure.
Great. Well, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you. This has been great.
What's the name of the last song you're going to play for us?
It's Way Out.
Way Out. Well, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Snacky Tunes. We will be back next week. We'll see you then. Take us out.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network. Food radio supported by you. For our freshest content and to hear about exclusive events, subscribe to our newsletter. Enter your email at the bottom of our website, heritageradionetwork.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at heritage_radio. Heritage Radio Network is a nonprofit organization driving conversations to make the world a better, fairer, more delicious place. And we couldn't do it without support from listeners like you. Want to be a part of the food world's most innovative community? Rate the shows you like, tell your friends, and please join our community by becoming a member. Just click on the beating heart at the top right of our homepage. Thanks for listening.